My name is Michael. I'm the Nerd Gamer, and welcome to our Pathfinder 2nd edition running of Curse of the Crimson Throne. With me, of course, are my wonderful group of amazingly talented and incredible Patreons who help me keep the lights on and do wonderful things. Now, guys, because we have 5 minutes left on this hype train thing, first of all, guys, you're all nuts. Every one of you. You're all crazy. Thank you so much. I haven't even started yet. Why? Your generosity is so kind, and we've been kicking a sub goal that of mine for some time now, because I was like, you know what? Everyone keeps bugging me about subs, and this, that, and the other. I know what I'll do. I'll set it at 200. It'll take me ages to get there, but I'm like 5 subs away from 200 now, and now I have to figure out what I'm going to do with my life. So thank you so much, guys, for all of your generosity and all of your donations. Also, a massive welcome in to our dear friends from Tavern of the Worlds. Thank you for bringing your community here, and welcome. Please take yourselves a seat. We have a bit of an introduction to go through, so if you bear with us, you're in for a great game. So before we get started, guys, for those of you who don't know, we do a series of TTRPGs here on the channel, all of which involve massive audience participation, because you guys are the important element of our game that help us make a game a little bit more different than, like your standard game of D&D. Whereas these lovely people here are my beautiful cast who take the stage. You, my lovely audience, are the inspiration behind my GM screen. So thank you all for being here and giving us, at the very least, your wonderful time. And we have hit the level 6 hype train. Thank you so much to Seagod, to Twiffer, to the Winterbound, to Taverns of the World, to Calindria, to McClover, to Viperpunk, more of Seagard, Adrian. Hey, Adrian. Hi, how are you? All my love. Mwah, I love your face. I miss you so much. Tony the Tigger, Cross the Streams, Schooly Eye, Adrian again, McClover, Malachisa, Laura Bones, and a partridge in a pear tree. Okay, there we go. That was everyone. Thank you so much, guys. Now, before we kick off, let's give a quick shout out and thank you to our sponsors. That's right. Sponsors. These guys make us look good. And Callie, thank you for the gifted subs. Holy crap. Okay, well, there goes that 200 subs goal. Gone. There it is. Thanks. No, thank you so much. By the way, as I mentioned into chat, but I'll mention here again, every level of the sub-train that goes through is actually going to be a bonus to the Fortitude save, which is our hero's abilities to protect themselves from things like, diseases, which will be important in a minute, for the rest of the dungeon. So all of you are currently sitting at a beautiful, I believe, +6 to your Fortitude saves, courtesy of chat. So yeah, freaking awesome. And also, apparently I'm about to beat our latest record. So yeah, there you go. Whew, okay, sponsors. Here we go. So, first of all, we have Hero Forge for the wonderful artworks you can see on chat. These are not only artworks that you can use for our digital assets, like we do in our VTTs, but you can also get them 3D printed, not only in a base format, which you can then paint yourself, but you can also get them color printed. They are immaculate, they are amazing, they're incredible, and they bring any of your characters to life. Most importantly, if you do want to commemorate your games or whatever, I would highly recommend considering not only Hero Forge, but Hero Forge Pro, which is a $50 a year subscription to Hero Forge that allows you to make artwork that does not only what I'm doing here with these guys, but Agnes, our lovely character here, whenever she talks on Discord,
hello there,
you can animate them, because that's what you can do, and that's some of the cool things that happen with that. So there you go. Next, of course, we'd like to thank Sirenscape for the wonderful sound effects that we constantly have on our show. That's very soft, but we'll improve that. Let's try that again. Yeah. Beautiful. And Sirenscape helps us sound amazing during the campaigns. Great musical scoring and a lot of really, really cool things for your soundboard. And lastly, Fantasy Grounds, our VTT of choice that allows us to move around the maps, look at something a lot more visually, and, of course, the dice roller. Yay! All right. Now, continuing to zoom through, let's now turn the tide over to our lovely players as they tell us a little factoid about their characters, starting with Twiff, who plays the role of Padrick, our gunslinger from the city of Korvosa, who had once upon a time had aspirations of becoming a spellcaster and studying at Mage's College, but after a misunderstanding with the law, was forced to retreat from his studies and instead has taken on the role of being the rootin' tootin' gun shootin' Padrick. There's lots of stuff involving his family and things like that, but we'll learn more about that as we go. But Padrick, my dear friend, now obviously you have been a part of this group for a while, and there has been a series of unfortunate events that have surrounded this city. Have you stopped to consider your family in this whole matter and where they are and how they are doing amidst everything that's going on? And if so, how do you feel about it?
So Patrick is estranged from his family. During that series of misunderstandings that got him booted out of school, his parents especially were not understanding. One of the things that came out of that was that he's a bastard. He's a half elf. The rest of his family, no elves in there. So that kind of made it easy for his dad to kick him out. He was disinherited. He's, minor noble house, not there anymore. Really, only one of his sisters is the only one who kind of stood behind him. And he has not been in contact with them. Part of the reason that he's been doing this is to make sure that they're safe, but he's gone off on his own path. He occasionally will, send a letter to his sister, get a letter from his sister, make sure everything's okay, but has not really had them form out in his mind, especially his parents. He just kind of doesn't think about them, and when he does, it's not really happy thoughts.
All right, fair enough. Well, I mean, complicated relationships are complicated. Next up, we have Holly, speaking of complicated relationships, the heiress to a noble family of fairies who had decided to follow their dreams and enter the human world, the city of Korvosa, in search of adventure and the heroism that they found within the pages of their various storybooks. Holly has, however, since learned that the city is a lot more complex than the stories had made them out to seem, and, well, quite frankly, they are now learning more and more as time goes on about their place in the world and the like. They are being pursued currently by I say malicious, more of a capricious member of the court known as Puck, who is trying to exact some sort of weird, bizarre revenge over the fact that Holly left her betrothed in order to come and be a part of the human world. Holly. Nice one for you here. You ready for this? This one's going to challenge you. What is your favorite flavor of cupcake frosting?
All flavors. That's just cupcake frosting. Like if there's sugar in it, that's her favorite.
Very well, though. Very well. Okay. Next up, of course, playing the role of Quinn, the investigator, a person who has been grinding their nose against the more unseemly places within the city in order to unearth secrets and those things that only those who understand the dark underbelly of cities would understand. Quinn has worked hard to try and maintain the city's peace without necessarily being a guard. Our investigator being played by the delightful Ire Janassi. Did I tell you that Malakisa was playing Holly? I feel like I might have missed that. Malakisa, everyone. Malakisa, wonderful GM, incredible TT role player, a TTRPG role player, and of course, great GM for the game system Vast Grim, who will be going to Gen Con and promoting said Vast Grim as an official GM. So there you go. Extra stuff there. Wow. But of course, playing Quinn is our dear friend Ire Janassi. Hi, Ire. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, Michael. How are you?
Super well, thank you. Now, Ire, as someone who is quite, I guess, I'd like to say carefully thought, like you kind of process and understand things, you take information, you interpret it. How do you feel about the deal you have recently made with the Nosferatu Ramoska Arkminos, allowing him to go free in exchange for, Thomas, who you now have rescued. And I guess, like, do you feel as though maybe that'll come back to bite you? Do you reckon he's a trustworthy dude? What's your hot take on that vampire lord?
My gut tells me that when he told us he was looking for a cure, he was not lying. I feel like this phage that has fallen upon the city is as much a mystery to him, or if less of a mystery, as much as greatly distasteful to him as it is to us. I think he knows probably more than we do. And
Oh no, he just real quick to interject. He did admit that he created it. But at the behest of these other people. So you are right on that. He does find it distasteful. He did not wish to create it, but to further his own stuff, it was a necessary evil, one that he is obviously happy with.
So even though I find the compromise distasteful, for now it suits our needs to allow him to be free, search for a cure.
Fair enough. All right, next up we have, of course, Dante, our kitsune druid, who is currently trying to take down a racket of drug dealers, which, of course, we haven't got a Rykon today, but we wish him well. We hope he gets better, and we will see him very soon. And the last member of this team rounding us out is none other than the delightful Laura Bones, playing the role of Agnes, the matronly mother of one of the, well, basically just a matronly mother to everyone, who has worked hard in order to rescue Thomas, the boyfriend of her daughter. And now that she has managed to rescue Thomas from the clutches of the vampire experimenting on him, a wave of relief now washes over Agnes as she can now tell her daughter that he is safe. Now, Agnes, your question here is going to be quite a simple one, and that is, well, now that Thomas is freed and the like, how do you, I mean, like obviously you feel a sense of relief, but like how do you feel about being able to tell your daughter that Thomas is okay?
It'll be a great relief, obviously. I think as well, because Thomas was kind of like looking after her. They were kind of like looking after each other while she was off doing like this thing, if you know what I mean. So the relief's twofold. Grateful that we found Thomas, but also that, you know, her daughter's like not going to be still alone while she's off adventuring, even though she's doing it to protect her daughter at the same time. If that makes sense. So there's a bit of a twofold thing in there for her, I think.
Beautiful. I absolutely adore it. Okay. Now, guys, the last thing we need to touch on, which I'm going to whiz past super quickly, and if I could also get in chat, anyone who has already donated, please repeat what you would like from the menu. But yeah, guys, the last person we want to thank for the channel is you guys. You guys are amazing. You guys are incredible. It is thanks to you that we are able to do what we do. And whether or not you are joining us with your donations, your subs, your crazy amount of subs, holy hell, or if you are simply earning channel points, it is greatly appreciated. And there are a number of rewards that you can earn in order to influence the game, ranging from insight bonuses to divine interventions, group inspirations, and the like. Alternatively, if you have some money that you'd like to throw my way to help me get to Gen Con, then of course there are a number of incentives there. For $5, we will give someone one of the red markers here, which is a hero point used to stave off death, petition the GM for nonsense, or basically just ask the GM for stuff that isn't in the rules. Down here I have Jinx points, which are basically the opposite, so $5 could also give me that as well. $10, I will draw from a deck of plot twists. I will draw 3, you will pick one, plot twist will happen, boom, boom, boom. That's it. For $20, I will give someone the coveted golden 20, which is a natural 20 at their behest. For $50, I will increase the difficulty of a boss fight or a challenge, making it even harder, but then offering a boon to our group for defeating it. There's also magic items which you can provide to the group, and that will happen as well. So, Schoolia has donated $50 for a magic item for the group. So, we'll discuss that in a little bit, I think. But yes, thank you very much, Schoolia, for the $50 dono. We will definitely look at where we're going to put that. And lastly, for the big old $100, nice and easy here. Oh, I say nice and easy. It's not nice and easy. It's a whole thing. So the $100 reward is I am going to straight up murder the final boss. That's it. $100, the boss will die. Now that doesn't end my encounter, and there's a very good reason why the $100 is that death button. There's something to be said here about the encounter that is to come. Not the next one, but like the one following. So bear that in mind as we come to it. And you can make your decisions as you would. So very mysterious. Why would Michael make a $100 donation to just kill the super boss? We want to kill the super boss. That's going to be, you know, kind of a fun thing. Well, ha ha ha. Lots of evil plans. But we'll talk about them in a minute. Now, guys, let's now throw our minds back. Ooh, real quick, we have a D20 for Patrick and Quinn coming in from Seagard. Boom. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Done and done. Also, I think you've got $10 left over because you tipped 50. And that was 40. So, if you want a plot twist or 2 hero points, let me know. Okay. Our journey continues. Where our heroes had left off, the city of Korvosa was gripped in a virulent epidemic. A plague known as Bloodveil had begun to afflict a number of the people around the city. A horrible prognosis of 7 days to the grave has been pretty much sent out towards the entire city. Now, our heroes managed to track down the various sources of the plague, finding out that it was a cult who had been poisoning or who had tainted some of the money and coins within the city, allowing it to circulate so rapidly. Thankfully, with the help of the Bank of Abadar, those coins are currently being searched for and confiscated, and the disease is slowly but surely being dealt with. Now, in search of those responsible, our group has found some suspicious behavior at the Hospice of the Blessed Maiden, a place that apparently has the physicians hired by the Queen in order to deal with the plague along with Grey Maidens. On deeper inspection, our heroes unearthed a cult of Urgathoa, nested just below the hospice. And here, they have managed to infiltrate and defeat a great number of these cultists and continue to proceed onwards in order to try and find a woman by the name of Andason, who is in charge of this cult. In addition, Agnes was in search of Thomas, her daughter's boyfriend, and has just, as of last session, managed to rescue him from the clutches of an evil scientist, a Nosferatu by the name of Ramoska Arkmenos, who claimed to be responsible for the plague and its spread. Not only that, he then proposed a rather macabre deal. Allow him to escape with Thomas, and he would give you the cure for the plague itself. The lives of many against the lives of one. Asking Agnes to make the very difficult choice, Agnes simply could not. Rather than being unable to choose, she simply refused to. No life, no matter how many or how few, was worth the lives of others. Ramoska was impressed, because he too believes that life is precious, and that those who value it, those who try to measure it, are those who you need to be careful of. In admiration for Agnes's steadfast and stalwart decision, not only was Thomas released, but also you were provided with an antidote to the blood veil, able to be replicated by apothecaries reasonably easily. So there you go. All right. Now, as we continue forward, Padrick, having made your way to scout ahead, you creak open the door to the side of what looks to be a large lab. This lab contains several glowing green tubes, and there, nestled within, are these hideous, horse-like humanoid monstrosities, trapped within this green glowing gelatin. And this is where we left off our previous game. Now, before we kick ahead, we have our plot twist cards for Seagard. Seagard, your plot twists are the path least traveled, switch sides, and where'd that come from? So, where'd that come from, switch sides, and the path least traveled. Alright. So, Padrick, the bubbling, the brewing, the stink of stale and foul air in this chamber penetrates as you peer up ahead. Now, there are 4 of these tubes that are in this room. You notice that 3 of them also, in addition to the one that you've seen, there are 3 others with these same horse-like creatures in them. However, the other 3 appear to be dead, floating listlessly and lifeless. Whereas you can see the one you're looking at sort of heavily breathing, and its eye kind of following you. When I say eye, it's kind of sockets, as I should say, following you as you move through this space. There is no person in this chamber.
Okay. So, creepy horse in a tube, no people. We have the cure for the blood veil.
Mm-hmm.
We have Thomas.
Yep, you do see at the end of the corridor there is another set of double doors.
Right. Okay. I really am gonna go report back to the rest of my party.
Sure.
Because I think we need to make a decision as to whether we take what we came for and leave, or venture onward and see what else is in here.
All right. For the sake of expedience here, I'm going to say that Thomas has been offered to be escorted out by Dante. Dante will go and meet up with the Varisians and help them as well, because, as you recall, Holly, in the previous session, had done exactly the same thing, escorting them up to the next area. Holly, you successfully managed to sneak the Varisians to the upper floor of the hospice and out the loading door, which was opened by, I believe, Padrick and Agnes when they broke in. So you were able to get them out without any trouble. You see Dante with Thomas, and just this wave of relief fills you, because that's the person you had come to save. Dante will very quickly tell you that he will take Thomas out and join you guys soon, and he tells you where the others are. But you do have a moment here, Holly, if you would like, to tell us what's going on with... tell us what's on your mind as you're making your way back to the others.
Yeah, Holly has never had to experience consequences before. Like, she was in a noble family, like, getting in trouble wasn't really getting in trouble. So the idea that, like, she's actually making bad decisions and she's suffering from those bad decisions is very confusing, and at first she was trying to justify it, and now she's still trying to come to grips with like, did I make a bad decision? Did I make the decision I had to? And she doesn't know. Like she's a little bit lost, and she doesn't know because she's never had to deal with consequences before, and it's very confusing.
It's very true. Fairies do have very, very different opinions or different thoughts towards things like such as consequences. I will also say that as you consider this as well, you also consider your deal, the deal you made with Asmodeus to serve and to be a cleric of Asmodeus at the cost of your soul. Now, this was, of course, to help the children who had been suffering from the plague, and you think, maybe you did something that now you're dealing with these consequences. If only there was someone you could lean on, someone you could rely on to maybe help or guide you. And that is when you recall that Quinn has an imp, a devil that works with Quinn on occasion, who may know a little bit more, being a denizen of hell themselves.
She does have an imp.
And that little imp never worked with me.
Well,
He's just been in my pocket watching me, the little imp.
that is true. He has not been much of help. He's
He's just there to make sure you went to the timeshare conference, right?
That was
right.
it.
I have to go to Sunday services for Asmodeus, or I don't know what will happen.
It's very true, but hey, at least you only have to pay lip service. Also, really quickly, thank you so much to our dear friends over at Aftermath Euphoria. Welcome in, guys. So good to see so many familiar faces. Guys, for those of you who don't know who I am, Michael, Dead Aussie Gamer, my place, Pathfinder 2nd Edition, Catch of the Crimson Throne. Big plague has happened. They found a secret temple to the goddess of death and disease, and they are now planning on their next steps. They found a large chamber filled with sciencey stuff, and this handsome devil. Look at that. Blump. Which they believe that the cultists have been poisoning, polluting, or otherwise distributing the disease throughout the city, but the group needs to find the person in charge and try to bring it to an end. However, they're deciding whether or not that would be the better thing to do, or take the win at the moment, call it, quit while they're ahead, basically. They've got the cure for the disease. They've managed to rescue one of the people they were searching for, and now we're at the table as they begin to discuss. So,
Right.
Holly,
so if
we'll
if
enter
we're-
at this
oh,
point. Yeah.
I was going
And
to say if we're sending Dante and Thomas out, I would feel better about exploring more if we sent the cure with Dante to bring to our allies. Make sure we get that out, and then we can continue exploring here and see if we can take care of who else might be in here.
Yeah, not a worry. All right, so Dante will take the cure and take it to Cressida Croft, who is the field marshal in charge of the guards. You know that you can trust her, and that she will get the cure to the right people to have it distributed among the city. Because I don't think you guys have any apothecary friends. You guys have your own apothecary place, but
Right.
But there's no one who runs it at the moment. But yeah, not a worry. All right. Well, the scene is yours as you gather around the table. A dead silence falls over our crowd as they look at one another.
Is this thing on?
They suddenly draw guns. No. Okay.
So I will let them know that there's a creepy eldritch horse in a jar in the next room, but there doesn't seem to be anyone else. There's 3 dead eldritch horse things. Could be undead, don't know. And then 1 that seems to be still active. And some doors beyond there.
I feel like we should probably destroy everything down here that they were working on, because that seems like the smarter thing to do so it doesn't come back to bite us later. But I also don't know that my decision making is that good, so I'll do whatever
Well,
you
you
guys
did
want to do for
unleash
now.
some sort of ticking time bomb. Might we hope that that will destroy it?
I
What was it that you did? I mean, Padraig told me some of it, but I only saw that countdown timer clicking down, and I'm not sure what that means. Maybe that will destroy the place. If whatever you did, what was that?
All right, taking a moment just because, of course, we only have 2 hours, so I'm going to zip through this super quickly as Holly explains what had previously happened. As previously mentioned, Holly had sacrificed their servitude to the god Asmodeus, the devil god of evil and lawfulness and contracts and stuff, and in doing so had bound themselves to the temple of Asmodeus, including, of course, the Hierophant. But one of the tasks beholden to Holly was to put a mysterious bullet into Padraig's belongings without being noticed. And unfortunately for Holly, Holly had done so, but then it proceeded to immediately believe themselves to be away from the contract and reveal to Padraig that the bullet had been placed. However, this was not in her favor, as it was a breach of her contract, which then summoned a circle of infernal magic that has begun to count down or up, depending, to something in Infernal. This area here, which is marked by that circle, is where this inscription has gotten. No, it seems to be resistant to fire. Sorry, it seems to be resistant to things that would put out fire, and it seems to be resistant to magics that would dispel it otherwise. The countdown is steady and slow, but it is still ever progressing forward towards what? We don't quite know. Quinn only knew about it from appearances. Holly, you explain, obviously, what had happened, unless you don't wish to. Sorry.
No, I'll explain everything.
Yep.
I'm gonna be totally honest, because again, I'm very worried about everything I've done.
Yep, and
so
Quinn,
in essence, we don't know what it's going to do when it reaches its penultimate count, whatever that might be. And Quinn's going to look over to Padraig. Do you have anything in your kit that can blow this place sky high and we just run for it? This and the countdown timer too. That would be delightful.
Oh, I think that timer, it'll happen regardless.
Yeah.
If I have to be perfectly honest with you, it's probably, and she looks at Holly, and then, I mean, I'm gonna hazard a guess that it is how long you've got left, dearie. I mean, I'm not saying that's the thing. That's just my guess. But
I did die, and that contract was to make me not be dead.
Right.
Wait, so you're undead?
No, Asmodeus brought me back and healed me.
So you're not dead, not undead.
Not undead. I'm alive, but I died, and the contract was...
She was only mostly dead.
Had to be said.
As far as things that I could use to blow anything up, most of them were in my ammo bag, which exploded and is currently on fire from infernal flames. So I'm a little tapped out in the bomb department.
Also, I don't know what they've been mixing down here. I mean, do we really want to explode this entire structure across the city?
Yeah, that's true. If they're tinkering with virus and it's airborne, we might be releasing the very thing we wish to fight. That is an excellent
I was also thinking just a more generic explosion, you know, flying brick and mortar and whatnot.
It's a good thought.
I mean, I think taking care of, despite Holly's track record for making terrible life choices up until now, getting rid of the eldritch horse horrors in jars that are in the next room is probably a good idea. We've taken out the zombies that we've encountered so far. and it seems like they're trying to create more things to carry plague. So I'm for cleaning this place out as effectively as we can.
Agnes looks up as if she was going to ask a question, and then she goes, "You know, no, I don't want to know. Never mind. Let's go."
And Quinn just looks at Agnes curiously. Quinn wants to know what she was about to say. That is clear.
I don't really want to know if there used to be people.
I
And she kind
understand.
of walks out the room.
I understand. I understand.
All right.
This is very, very perturbed at the moment.
Okay. As you make your way out, you begin to follow the pathways down towards the. Let's share the map here. There we go. Down towards the chamber that Padraig had previously mentioned. Arriving, you see the various tubes with the large, hideous, horse-like monstrosity that rests within the kind of tubings that are here. All right.
Are these plugged into anything that looks like they're giving life support to these tubes?
Yeah, a couple of tubes that seem to go into the ground here seem to look like they might be feeding nutrients or taking waste away.
All right, so I'm going to draw my sword and say, by the power of Odd Bandicoot, and try to slice through one of these that is feeding the tube of the liveliest looking horseman thing, whatever they are.
Beautiful. I love it. All right. With a swift slash and a cut, you manage to break the jar open. Let's see.
Oh, that was not my intent at all.
Oh, you mean? Oh, sorry. You mean the actual just the tube?
Just cut
Right.
whatever support is feeding into it.
Okay, sorry. I went with holy smite versus like precision cutting the tubes.
Yeah,
okay.
No, I'm going precise.
Okay, right. Okay. I need you to make me a disable device check. Or in this case, a thievery check. Or
all right.
What else do we have?
So
thievery
am I rolling a d20?
Yeah, please.
That's a 13. You can add that to whatever you think is most appropriate on my character sheet, whatever buffs I might have.
Let's see. Yeah, I'd say thievery to disable the device. So that is a plus 10 for you. So 13 plus 10 is a 23, and that's enough. You stick this massive sword down where the tubings are, and you cut it, and you watch as these bubbles that like seem to float up in this green solution suddenly stop. The creature begins to thrash around violently. It seems to be struggling, and as it does so, it seems to try and bang on these sides of the walls, but its body seems to be weak and weary, with much of it having been kind of pulled apart and reassembled. You watch as the almost blackish bile that comes from its wounds stains the green before eventually, and sure enough, the creature ceases its movement. Well done.
Quinn looks on with a sort of grim resignation rather than satisfaction.
So looking at the rest of them, I think we should probably disable all three of them, even though they've got supposedly dead things in them. Does it make sense to use crafting to figure out how to do it best, or just go with that?
It'll be with the thievery check.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'll do the same thing then.
Yeah.
I'll take one and roll.
All right. A 19, unfortunately, is not enough. A 22 is enough. And who wanted to do the third one? Anyone? No.
I mean, I can take the.
Yeah, you can
the-
do it. You can
the-
do. Yeah, somebody can double up if you'd want. That's no problem there.
Can I try again? Because I wasn't able to cut the tubes.
We'll come to that in a moment. Because they're very big consequences. Alright, and a 20 is not enough as well. Now, I will call for hero points, because they will matter in a moment. Any hero points expended from Padrick or Holly?
I'll take a hero point.
I'll use a hero point here. Yeah, I'm suddenly very nervous.
Alright, let's see them.
Are you wanting to reroll, or is it just a +4 to succeed?
The +4, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but +4 is a attribute from Pathfinder 1st edition.
Okay.
As we're playing 2nd edition, there is no static bonus.
Okay. I will reroll then.
All right. 25 is a success. And 31 is a success. Very nice. All right. You will all cut the various tubes, and this will be good because suddenly and without warning, one of the tubes explodes and a creature lurches outwards. As it does so, let's see, where are you? All right. As it lurches outwards, calm down, mate. Very, very invested he was. All right, so as this thing jumps out, it springs into battle with you guys. However, because you guys disabled the devices, it starts off injured. All right. As we go into initiative and the creature erupts. All right. Initiative order. There it is. Boom. We are going to be starting with Padrig, followed by Holly, followed by Quinn, then followed by Agnes, then the Daemon. All right, Padrig, you're up first.
All right, give me one sec. All right, so I don't have any actual bullets anymore, so I will use my spell shot skills, and I will summon a bullet, which loads it. I will take a fulminating shot. I don't know what this thing is, so I'll just whisper fire, because fire is helpful and kills most things, and then I'll shoot it.
All right. Make your attack. All right, that will hit. Actually, hold on, sorry. Give me 2 seconds. I think I goofed on that one. One moment. I did goof, I think. Yes, I did. Sorry, bear with me. to roll his initiative again real quick. Alright, very well. My apologies. He just needed something extra here. But he will actually be going first, but after you because I made the mistake. And you got a 35 to hit. No, he didn't. You got a 25 to hit. 25 will not hit.
Okay, so it went from a hit to a not hit.
It did. Did indeed. Mostly because I was using the Pathfinder 1st edition version, whose AC was much lower than the 2nd edition, which is more robust. Same with CR, just... You know, in first edition,
you know, since you did that doesn't mean I could re-roll my shot, right?
You know what? Go take your shot re-roll. I'm happy for
Worst
that.
thing can happen.
I think that's a fair call. Fair enough. I'll give that. Give your shot. Let me put him back on the map though.
Yeah, I was gonna say where'd he go?
There he is.
Oh wow, he's much bigger now.
There he is. Isn't he handsome? Let's show him for the folks back at home. There he is. Boom, look at that. Ugh, yuck. Just yuck.
Alright, that's a 28. Which says it hit.
Oh, hang on. We have a donation from Clover. Everyone is getting a hero point.
Sweet.
So, hero point. Thank you for the reminder. Much obliged. Like I said, sometimes the donations do tend to sneak away. But boom, there it is. All right, so everyone has gotten a hero point. Thank you, McClover, you bloody legend, you. And that now puts us like $24 away from the 2K mark, which is amazing. Freaking you guys. All right, so your second shot has gone through, and it has hit.
Yep. All right, so rolling damage. And then this will be fire damage. I gotta roll this in the chat. 5 points of fire damage. All right, that's it for me.
All right, fantastic. As the shot rings out, the creature takes the blow. You then watch as the open wound begins to fester immediately, and it radiates this infectious aura. What I need is everyone to make me a... No, you don't even get anything. You just take a -2 penalty on all saves versus DCs while you're near him. But, however, because of the donations from the chat earlier on, that's a +7, which means that you now only get a +5 on your fort saves. Which is fine and dandy. But what is this?
+5, is that all?
Yeah, I know, right? Alright, it is going to kick off with a... You know what? It'll just start biting people. Starting with the guy who shot him. Padrig. It bites you. Teeth, like a horse, dig into your flesh as you take 26 points of damage.
God
Now,
damn it. He rolled a 4 and he still hit me.
yes, he did. In addition, as he bites you, there is straight up evil in the actual bite. Forget, you know, your sensibilities towards, like, you know, what you think evil is. Like, evil is a morality, evil is an act. No. Evil is this sensation that grips your very soul. And as it does, it uses demonic pestilence on its bite. Now, you get a saving throw with a +5 bonus. So please make me a fort save.
All right, I I will do that. So it's +5 from the hype train, but it's also plus half our level from the mask, or is that only for diseases and not in general?
That'll be for diseases.
All right. So do I need to +5 for the modifier, and then roll a fort save.
All right, a 31. All right, a 31 is enough to resist the disease here. But
Thank God.
But your plight is not over, as it is going to then reach over and attempt to claw at your back with 2 claws. Claw number 1. Rakes across your back, dealing 18 damage. And I need another saving throw. And by the way, this encounter comes courtesy of... Where did that come from?
Awesome. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be re-rolling that saving throw if a 20 is not enough.
A 20 is definitely not enough. But yes, you can make that re-roll. Let's see it. Thank you again to our lovely audience members for your donations, which of course help my players not get murdered.
Except in this case.
Well, no, not yet. Not yet. Don't count it.
And
All right,
33.
A 33 is enough to save. And the last of its attacks. This time it is not going to go for you. It is going to go for Padrick. Oh, sorry, not for Padrick. For Quinn.
Me?
You have a big honking sword that shoots lightning. Ooh, that is a miss. You know what? I'm not going to mess around. That nat 20's coming out to play. No, you know what? I'm going to keep the nat 20. I'm going to use a jinx point. There you go.
I was going to say, I'm going to regret my choices.
All right. Jinx point. Okay, here we go. Claw's coming out. Oh, I almost got the nat 20 too. Never mind. Well, that will still miss, unfortunately. Okay. Which then brings us to the end of the creature's round and on to Holly's turn.
Holly is suddenly horrified at how much damage Patrick just took, and she has decided she's not gonna mess around. So I'm gonna use my nat 20.
Ooh, very nice. Real quick, Tony the Tigger has just donated. We have 2 hero points for Patrick and Holly and 1 for Agnes.
Thank you.
All right, there we go. Beautiful.
This is terrifying.
Sorry, one moment while I...
Oh no, you take all the time you
There
need
we
when
go.
you give us
All right,
the-
easy, easy, easy. All right, there we go. So, natural 20 now from you, Holly, I believe.
Yes.
All right.
As this, yeah. Holly is going to kind of back against the wall a little bit and hold up her hands and shoot just a cold ray of darkness right at the creature.
Beautiful. I love it. Okay, what are you casting?
I am casting Chilling Darkness.
Nice. All right. Make the attack.
I don't have to make, it's not 20.
No, as in like drop the...
I just dropped the damage on it. It's a
yeah,
ranged,
and-
it's a ranged attack. So
Yeah,
no
then
save.
hold down left shift as you do so, and it'll do automatic crit damage. Also, Liska, thank you for joining us. Sleep well, my dear, and we'll see you next time. All right. 36 damage as frost and ice shears over the body of this this giant horse-like creature. It is unhappy, to say the least. Unhappy completely.
Fair.
But that is 2 actions, I believe, for that.
That is. Hang on. Yes, that is 2 actions.
You have one more
Unfortunately,
action?
I don't have any more. I'm just gonna back out of the way. Just gonna move
Right.
a little bit out of the biting eating range. I don't want to get eaten by this dude.
Sure, not a worry. You move back and you step out of eating range. Quinn, you are up next.
All right. Well, using what I've got, using what Odd Bandicoot gave me, I raise my lightning sword and I say, by the power of Odd Bandicoot. And I'm gonna, and I'm gonna roll I don't know what my modifiers are. I think it's I actually don't remember. Yeah. So forgive
that's okay.
me.
I got your sheets here. Your modifier for your first attack is, let's see here.
I rolled a 12, so
That's
plus
23, so it's plus 11, by the way. So 23 is
right.
not enough.
Scheisse. All right, so I'm gonna move.
You do have 3 hero points if you want to use them.
All right, I will use one of those actually to take a reroll.
All right, let's do it.
On that initial hit, roll in my d20. 14 plus 11, 25.
Ooh, 25 is close, but no cigar.
Snaps. Okay, so then I'm going to take my third action and just kind of position myself, if I might, a little bit opposite of Padrig. So I'm just like taking 2 squares of movement up and opposite of Padrig. Exactly. Perfect.
Done.
And I'm going to just assume a defensive stance at the point.
Nice. All right, cool. You will take on a defensive stance as you hold your sword out to try and protect yourself. As you move, however, you watch as the creature sniffs the air.
Oh, no, man. I knew I shouldn't have changed soap.
It looks in your direction, and as it does, it begins to speak with you.
All right.
You notice that it turns its back on you and seems to then proceed to ignore you.
Um,
And does anyone speak Damon by any chance?
You know,
Not Matt Damon, just, Damon.
You know, I've studied up on a lot of languages, but that is not one. Holly, does your
Infernal.
It's not.
Yeah, Holly, does your newfound job title include the speaking of Damon?
Nope. I got Infernal and some high school goblin.
Well, for those of you playing at home, let's tell you a little bit about daemons then, shall we? So, devils, as we know, are lawful evil creatures who come from hell that are bound by contracts in order to try and corrupt and take souls. Demons are destructive creatures who rip and tear apart anything and everything and work off primal instinct and destruction. That's kind of demons. They're chaotic evil. In the middle of these two factions is a third, the neutral evil daemons. They represent the various aspects of death and are arbiters of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. They want nothing more than the obliteration of any and all life itself. That is all. They are not evil because they want to follow a strict rule and gain power. They are not evil out of a necessity of or a whim to be evil. They are evil because it is simply their nature. They are a force like any force of nature. This creature, I don't hazard need to tell you which of the horsemen it serves, and what its particular motivation to murder people is. This
I'm gonna leave.
is a leucodaemon, servant of the horsemen of pestilence, and it spreads disease, as its figure would indicate.
Can I speak to the imp in my pocket and be like, yo, can you tell me what it just said?
I can't remember his accent. What did the imp sound like?
He was kind of gravelly and I want to say sort of broadly Cockney, but not exactly that robust of a Cockney. Sort of streetwise, you know?
Oh yeah, I think I got it. It's something like this, right?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
it.
All right. So, hey, so what you want? You want me to translate it?
Yeah.
Okay, look, my daemon's not as good as it used to be, okay? But if I'm making it out right, what it basically said is, blessings of the penguin's popsicle. That can't be right. You are a carrier of the horse, and we'll see the end along with some Vegemite sandwiches. It's a bit hazy, but yeah, it's
All right.
basically the gist.
Gotcha. Thanks. I appreciate it very much. This is a great assist. You definitely saved my life there.
Oh,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you just no worries. I've eaten all your rations as well. And he dives back into the bag.
God, I knew it. I could feel him doing it too, the crunching. Ah.
All right. I believe that brings us to the end of Quinn's turn. Which then brings us to Agnes.
Okay, so Agnes is going to. Oh, this guy just exploded out of a jar, so I'm assuming there's lots of shards of glass lying around.
So many.
Okay, so Agnes is gonna back up like I don't know, like 5-10 feet or something, and yeah. So you'll see her like beginning to like mutter, and Holly, because she's this close now, it just sounds like calculations and figures and stuff like that. As a piece of glass close by the demon just like wobbles up into the air and then whoosh, darts towards it.
All right, make your attack as the shard of glass makes its way towards the daemon. Nice! It strikes it straight in the neck.
Whoosh.
Wow, 20 points of damage, rips through its flesh. You can see maggots beginning to pour out of its open wounds. It is not looking good. This thing was, like I said, pretty worn and beaten up before breaking free. It doesn't look like it's got much of a leg to stand on after that attack.
That's it.
Was that 3 actions?
Yeah, 1 to move and 2 actions to.
Oh, okay.
Cast
Yeah,
the spell.
no worries. Okay, which brings us back to the leucodaemon. It is going to use its final action as it inhales, filling its lungs to the point of bursting. You can see its whole body bulge and sort of almost swell like a pimple. And then he vomits out this incredibly noxious smelling gas as this is a reflex save, not a fort save. That is half damage to Padrick, who is saved for 14 to half to 7.
Ooh.
Agnes. It's a natural
there is
1.
a hero point.
You may use a hero
nice.
point. I guess. Are you sure you want to use the hero point? I mean, you could always
I'm
just let it
sure.
slide.
I'm definitely sure the critical failure is not.
All right. That
And
is
that's not much better.
still a critical failure. All right.
Wow.
So that is 24 damage. Plus, you now also gain Sickened 2 as the noxious breath fills your lungs. And Holly. That is also a critical failure.
I would also like to try the hero point, and let's see what happens.
Not a problem. There you go. And the hero point comes in. And let's see how we go. Hiya. Absolutely no change.
Hero points are not our friends tonight.
They're not your friends tonight.
I'm calling shenanigans.
All right. That is 38 points of damage.
Oh.
And you are also sickened 2. However, as the creature unearths this foul, noxious smell, it slumps over and begins to fall dead. Whatever little life force it had remaining fizzles and expires.
Does Quinn not have to make it?
No, it's pointing in your direction. All right. You take a deep breath. Silence fills the chamber here. Even the bubbling of the large test tubes no longer fill the area. Just this sour smell of rot and decay that comes from this corpse.
I'm gonna cast prestidigitation and start cleaning myself because I'm pretty sure that was a really gross combat.
So gross.
Agnes is gonna wander over and start trying to tend to some of Adrig's wounds. She
I
pulls
appreciate
out
that.
some bandages out of a bag and then a little needle and thread from somewhere else.
Yeah,
some
no,
vodka,
I'm down to
strong looking
5 hit points.
alcohol. And just
All right. Well, keeping in mind,
And I used it ages ago. I can't heal anyone right now.
all right. So keeping in mind, at this point, you guys, well, let's go with this. Dante can come back down and disable the elevator, meaning there's no way up or down for the time being. If you guys wish to take a long rest, you may secure this area to do so.
That's an excellent idea, and we should do that.
Yeah, I could certainly use a long rest.
Anyone against this idea?
No, I think that's advisable. Quinn is standing amazed at the fact that she wasn't in the center of the storm.
Sure. All right. Not a problem. All right. We're going to go for a long rest. And between Agnes and Dante, you guys will restore to full health. Quinn, your sickened condition is gone. Your disease still lingers. The breath weapon that sickened you guys earlier has also expired. But it is still kind of foul smelling in general. Dante lowers their sickened condition by 1, which is fine. But Quinn, yes, Quinn's still diseased. Okay. Overnight, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of time here because I need to go and check on my cat real quick. But in the meantime, you have a campfire question that I want you guys to discuss. First and foremost, it is quite simple. The diseases that have run rampant over the last few days might finally be coming to a close. But the person in charge, this Andason person, might be... I mean, you're dealing with gods. You're dealing with the servants of these gods. That comes with massive repercussions. Repercussions from the church. Repercussions from the divine. The fact that you've seen this leucodaemon entity from, outside of this plane of existence. I want you to discuss if you're prepared to face off against this new and imposing threat. All right, I'll be right back.
Quinn just slides down a wall, her back pressed against the wall, her knees clutched before her, breathing heavily as she surveys the rest of her party.
Yeah. I think right now we are in trouble if we face anything else. I mean, that thing nearly killed me just in one go. I don't have any bullets. All of my stuff to deal with the undead and their ilk is, again, in a pile burning in infernal flames. I don't have any healing potions. I mean, at the very least, I think, we need to stock up and see if we can gear up, I suppose.
Well, I can heal now. So I have my heal spells back, so I can heal people again. So that's 2 people for heals, so that should help.
Yeah, but I mean, every fight we've had down here has left most of us nearly dead.
Okay. Have we discussed our impending doom?
Oh.
Yeah, we're still discussing our impending doom.
Very well.
Right, but I mean, ancient vampire, demon from another plane of existence. I mean, surely there can't be that much more things that are that super deadly. Maybe 1 or 2. I mean, and if we leave, well, it gives them time to run away or prepare.
Is not
or...
1 enough?
I wouldn't consider it running away. I would consider it, preparing to fight whoever was in charge of these things.
Retreat is a viable battle strategy. If you cannot win a fight, evade.
We know this is down here. We know how to get in here. I'm not saying we go and abandon this. I'm saying let's restock,
But what if they start changing everything, or what if they move? Because we already killed a whole bunch of people and released a bunch of their test subjects.
I mean, that's a risk, but does it help anyone if we die?
It does not. But I don't think we have, I don't know. How long would it take to get, because what do we need besides bullets and healing potions?
I mean, let's consider what we've faced so far. That we faced a vampire who we survived because Agnes, blessed you, convinced him that, you know, we thought he was not just a blood-sucking monster, and he let us go. If we actually fought him, we would be dead. I
Well, no,
shot him
I'm
point
not
blank,
making an
and
argument.
it just
I'm
healed.
literally asking the question, what do we need to restock on? That wasn't an argument against it. That was just, what are the things we
Right.
need to get?
I mean, I need
More
bullets.
power is what we need. More strength is what I need. I don't know that I'm going to be successful if I forage on. And it's not just about healing. You can re-heal me and re-heal me. But if we don't have the strength to hit a killing blow as we move forward, we need to consider what that means.
So do we need to ask people to help us and join us? Maybe Cressida could help and send some people with us?
Yeah. I mean, at a bare minimum, I need to restock on silver bullets because we shoot undead with regular ones and they just, you know, heal back up. It doesn't hurt them as much. If they can heal, they'll heal. You know, fire helps. I'm out of fire potions, you know. So if it's possible for us to be able to defend ourselves better, we can see what options we've got there. But I think, you know, I was ready to forge on through here. We walked into one room. We saw something that looked half dead in a jar. We thought it was dead, and then it jumped out and nearly killed us. And thankfully, it was half dead. Otherwise, it probably would have succeeded.
And we're still going to have to come back to deal with that doomsday counter of yours.
But we don't know how to deal with that.
Unless you've got some ideas. No, not yet. I
Maybe-
don't even know.
Maybe
what
your
it
imp does? Could we talk to the imp, maybe?
I'm going to tap on my pocket. See if I can. Hey, quit eating my chips as I rap on my pocket. See if I see if I
Hey,
can
what
get
you
him to
want?
pop up.
Yeah, no, I got this one.
Yeah, no, my friend thinks that maybe you could help.
Help with what?
There's okay, so and I just explained the whole thing and what happened with the clock countdown and everything, and I asked him, what is that and what's it counting down to? And am I gonna die?
Oh. No. First of all, you're not gonna die. Don't worry about that, none. I just need to find. Sorry, I just need to find the. Where is?
I can't even remember his name. It's like Sprat or something. Sprocket. No, that's too cute. It can't possibly be that.
Must be this one. All right, that's fine. Anyway, this is an imp, by the way. It's about the same size as Holly, and he goes, "Well, if what you're saying is true, then it'll be stipulated in a contract, innit? Let's see. What's your name again, love?
Holly?
Holly. Hang on a sec. You watch as he gets a pair of glasses and puts them on. He then literally pulls out what looks to be a kind of almost like a Rolodex, and he pulls it up. Ollie, last name?
Bright flower.
Bright flower. Ollie, bright flower, Ollie. Oh, here we go. Bright flower, with an H.
Yes.
Yeah,
In the middle.
All right. Yada. Service of souls is Admodius, blah blah blah, usual thing. Oh, you've been indoctrinated. Very nice. Look at me. I've got a freaking clergy. All right. Oh, here we go. All right. Upon failure to complete any of the tasks, you will be used as a conduit. Ooh, conduit. Very fancy word, that. A conduit into the realms of hell, in which several individuals summoned by the proprietor of said contract will be provided in order to fulfill the lacking of duties upon Holly, and replace them should they manage to complete the 7 tasks of deadly sin. Each different interval as separated by a single day of, well, but Earth standards, 24 hours. One of these entities will be given possession of a individual within the region, and they will then be provided with the tools necessary in order to damn the souls of the living until such a quota is met that the person has been considered to be balanced in their account of duties hereto forthwith have failed or not failed. Basically, your debt is that your soul is tied to that little dial-y thingy. Every day for 7 days, a new devil is going to be summoned out. It's going to do some stuff that,
in
because...
her body?
No. Of course not. That'd be silly.
Okay.
No. They're going to steal someone else's body.
Someone near her, or just
No.
near the plot?
Just some random innocent person whose like mind is easily manipulated
That's so
and stuff.
much better. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
got you.
Well,
I'm
anyway,
with you.
so yeah, they're gonna do that, and so there's 7 different ones, 7 different cardinal sins, all of which will become your responsibility and burden your soul, guaranteeing it forever damnation within the forest of hell. Because here's the thing, right? Just because you signed a bit of paper doesn't mean, I don't know why I became Australian, but anyway. Look, just because
it's easy.
Yeah, just because you signed a bit of paper don't mean that suddenly you're gonna be damned, and put into into hell. So what it needs to do is have you understand that your actions have thereby add consequences which will damn your soul, which in this case is unleashing all 7 cardinal sins upon innocent people through your actions of the breakings of the contract, ergo damning your soul, ergo putting you in that position where in the event that you die, there is no redeeming of your soul because, these guys have done some pretty nasty things. And it looks like the people on your rap sheet are pretty nasty. They're the ones that, these guys here, they're the creme de creme. These guys do nothing but show up, commit the worst atrocities that their sins can manifest, lay that all on your soul, and then go home and have tea. That's basically their job.
So can we stop them from doing that?
Well, I mean, yeah, technically, there's nothing in the contract that says you can't, but, you can try. These devils, they're not just, oh, yeah, I'm going to go kill this guy or stab that dude. When we talk about, wrath, for example, we're not talking about violence. We're talking about, wrath hereto unseen. Like, if this city gets gripped in a civil war, for example, that would be a good example of, wrath being, here or something. Or, if greed suddenly bankrupts a great deal of the nobles and then turns them into beggars, and then have them turn on the city. Again, you're talking about this. Sure, you can get in the way and you can bother them and do all that sort of stuff. Basically here, what it says is that you've lost the faith of Osmodius, and so long as you wish to retain and keep your powers, then, this is going to happen. The other option is you can relinquish your powers. However, in doing so means your immediate and very violent death at the hands of the nearest devil. Oh, that's me. I get to kill you. All right. Yeah. The nearest devil basically gets to claim the soul of your contract. And
really happy about that.
Oh, it's a big honor.
So,
it boosts my reputation.
If the nearest devil is unable to kill her, is it just, hey, every time others are going to try, or is it one shot and you're done?
Well, anytime a devil gets near you, it's pretty much obliged to try and kill you. That's
Well,
how it works. Forces are hell into that.
All right, so you basically unleashed the seven deadlies, and I've got like a restraining grip on Liam's shoulders, just sort of stroking him, but firmly, so it's kind of holding as well. Yeah, exactly.
so wait,
And
what?
I've got my eyes glued to Holly. You've basically unleashed the seven deadlies, and you've got a death sentence.
Well, what
That
if
what I'm understanding?
what I'm understanding is that if we let the seven deadlies go through, then I don't have a death sentence, and Asmodeus still likes me, and I keep my powers. But if
Excellent.
I let
Oh, sure. If we
if
only
I
let
let
the
you
seven
kill
deadlies.
me now, does that mean the seven deadlies won't be unleashed?
No, they'll still be unleashed, but the portal will close, meaning that they can't get in. Meaning they have to find another way to get in.
Wait, so I just have to kill her and that takes care of the problem?
No. What it means is
Oh,
that
okay.
what it means is that likely the Asmodean Church will just open up the portal and have the contract fulfilled if they find out that the contract has been broken.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. This just means that they don't have to worry about it. You know, this is just kind of like, you know, leaving the door open or putting your hand in the door waiting for someone to come through. Now, look, as far as I'm concerned, the contract says that they have to arrive, that they'll do what they can to burden your soul, and then they leave. That's all I know. If they can't successfully burden your soul, then, yeah, I mean, I guess that kind of is somewhat of a workaround. But, you know, like, that'd probably be it. You know, but that's on you, innit? That's just how the cookie crumbles, you know. We devils, we do love our contracts, and we love our fine print.
Well, it sounds like Holly's got an interesting week ahead.
When is the first door gonna open?
Look here, like, well, presuming that we're about partway through our rest cycle here, it looks like you've got another 12 hours before the first one arrives. And from the list here, it looks like it's Greed, the Greed Devil. Or a Greed Devil, should I say. Now, keeping in mind, there aren't seven deadly sins, you know, there aren't just like this one big manifestation of these you know, kind of cardinal sins and stuff like that. You know, there's millions of them. There's millions of these devils, right? You just get to pick one. Your particular devil's name is Angarak. That's the one that's been assigned to your case.
Okay.
And he adjusts his glasses as he looks down. He says, and Angarak is scheduled, in 12 hours, well, 12 hours and 26 minutes. And, he's going to take possession of a mortal soul and use it in order to incite greed, debauchery, and the like. And that's going to be on you. There you go.
So how do we
Right
find
on.
him?
How do you find him? I mean, detect magics or detect evil. You know, they kind of do the job. Look, as far as I'm concerned, that's all I know about the thing. You know, I don't know where he's going to show up. I don't even know who he's going to be in.
We have a more immediate problem. We are here in the midst of many things that are more powerful than we are, or at least are gonna bring us as close as possible to death as we can get. Without a lot of resources, what are we going to do? What do we choose to do?
Can the imp run an errand and go get stuff and restock us?
Oh,
so
no,
we have
he
to take care
doesn't
of
do
this?
that. Like, he's been nice enough to actually read through this law crap for us.
Oh, well,
but-
hang on. Like, I mean, maybe there's a few things that I could, you know, be persuaded into doing. First of all, your backpack
What
smells
will it
like shit, right? If you buy me a brand new leather pack that actually doesn't smell like garbage, you know, maybe I'll do you a job. Oh, I'm
Are you
sorry. When was the
complaining
last
about
time
my-
you washed it out? Oh, don't me. I have to live in there. All right.
I started shaking my coat. I'm like, you don't have to stay here.
I do have to stay here. I'm contractually bound. Because some of us, when we make a contract, we follow it. Now listen.
Oh, I see. And I look pointedly at Holly, as some of us don't. All right, fine. You get a new leather pouch. What else do you want?
He quickly thinks, I want a bell.
A bell?
Yep. Keep them fairies out.
Really? A ding dong bell, like a little brass bell. Can we on like a
No, I don't
collar?
want a ding dong bell. I want like a ding a ling a ling bell.
Oh, I see. I'm glad we cleared that up. All right, a ding a ling on a collar.
That's the one. That's what I want.
All right. Do you want the collar for the fairies, or you wear the collar?
What color? No, I don't want a collar. I want just a bell. I just want the little, you know, like kind of just a tiny silver bell. That's what I want.
All right. Bell, book, and candle. I got you.
That's the one.
Okay,
All right.
so while we finish our rest, we can send him to get all of the supplies, and then we don't have to worry.
All right. Agreeing to this, you
It
pay
probably
him the gold that you need, because assuming you don't want him to steal stuff. He then takes out a piece of charcoal, draws a tiny door in the wall, opens it up, and you see hell, literally on the other side. He walks in, he shuts the door, and about 4 hours later, the door opens again. He's got some beef jerky in his jaws. He's got his hands filled with all the stuff you need, and he will lay out your shopping for you, for you to be able to
We
take.
ask him for health potions.
I mean, look straight up,
Yeah.
if you pay him, if you give him enough gold to spend it, then yes, he will buy you the health potions and the like. He also
Patrick's bullets and yeah.
he has also spent 3 gold on a leather bag.
That is a fine looking bag. I don't even want to ask how much you spent for it. Is it comfortable?
Oh yeah, no, it's really comfortable. It's got like the little inlay areas here. You got like, you know, it's nice and,
There's no
you know,
food
it's
in this
velvet.
bag.
It's velvet, it is. All right,
It
easy on the buttock.
I understand, but there's no food in this bag, which is why it doesn't smell like garbage. Enjoy your stay.
He crawls in, and as he does, he basically turns around. He opens up his wing, almost like he's opening up a jacket, and he pulls out the rest of the bag of chips he was eating, and he crunches one really loudly.
Why, you little...
And he dives in. He dives into the bag. All right. So, Agnes, during this period of time, is there anything you would like to bring up, contribute? Say, I know we kind of went from the plague that is affecting everything to the imp, but is there anything you want to throw in?
I think Agnes is kind of, I don't know, I think Agnes is kind of only half listening at the moment, to be fair, to everything that's going on. I think she's kind of like, would probably say at first that, you know, she'd like to just continue on if possible, as she's mentioned before about not wanting them to run to ground or run away if they go away and come back later. But yeah, as they started discussing like various things, I think she's probably just gonna sit and think and meditate for a bit, because this has all been an awful lot. An awful lot happened in the last couple of days. And yeah, it's all been a bit much. If she had access to a teapot, she'd probably be trying to make herself a cup of tea right about now, but she doesn't, so yeah.
Quinn looks to the imp.
What?
You didn't bring tea?
If it's not on the shopping list, I didn't bring it, all right?
Fair.
Or he brought tea and no kettle because, you know. Actually, you do have a mess kit, so you probably could boil up a pot of tea. That wouldn't be overly difficult, I'd say, for Agnes. So,
Just in for a cuppa.
yeah.
Always in for a cuppa.
All right. Resting and recuperating, you feel your wounds stitch, your energies pick up, though some of you still feel nauseous from the various states that you have been in as of the last week. For those of you who are just joining us, our heroes are in the city of Korvosa, which is gripped with an epidemic. A blood veil disease has riddled the entire land, and there's only this is actually the last day. After today, at, some say around 7 p.m., mass deaths will start occurring. However, our group has managed to get the cure out, and it's hopefully being distributed even as we speak, but there's still one matter left to attend to. The culprit behind the epidemic, the person who had spread it in the first place, the leader, the hierophant of the Temple of Urgathoa, goddess of disease, undeath, and greed. With only one chamber remaining, our heroes are now rested, recuperated, with supplies having been gathered by their imp friends. You now gather and prepare for the next big push. Opening the door, you find yourself within another chamber. This one looking much more akin to a cathedral. You pass through a long hallway where on either side you can see the corpses of several people frozen in fear, almost etched out of stone on both sides of this corridor, reaching out as if pleading to the people who pass by for help or salvation. Further up ahead, you see this ominous light that seems to glow almost like a teal color as you begin to make your way down. Eventually, it opens to a large circular chamber rising to a high dome. 7 basins jut from the walls, ensconced within every spaced alcove. Inside is this kind of pool filled to the brim with liquid blood, bile, milk, and other unidentifiable liquids. The air here is sour with reek, and a noxious, eye-watering bouquet makes it difficult to breathe. On the floor around each basin lies several small empty metal boxes, each carved with the images of skulls. You realize that these are the skull cases that the coins were placed in, which spread the disease in the first place. Now, in the center of the room here, rising from the largest of these pools, which is actually a pool of crystal water. So unlike the other ones, which are foul and fetid, the one in the center is like almost pristine. But the statue in the center of this fountain is a gold statue, both erotic and horrifying. A beautiful nude woman who's human above the waist, with long raven hair, well, gold hair, should I say, swirled around her body, brandishing what appears to be a large scythe, but whose lower half has been reduced to rot, intestines and stomach depicted having spilled out onto the floor, and legs with no meat and flesh or muscles, just bones like a skeleton holding her body up. This is the goddess Urgathoa. Standing at almost a reverent prayer is a single woman who is in this chamber.
Quinn looks to the rest of the party and whispers, "Well, this doesn't look so bad."
All right, there we go. And let me show you an image of this woman. There we go. This is the beautiful woman in this room. She looks to you and says, "I was wondering where you were. You have found your way to me, hopeful heroes, and know that you stand before the very architect of the death of your fair city. I am Andason." And she nods. She sort of bows her head. Her movements graceful, her skin almost like ivory, and her eyes deep and blue.
The city is not dead. Not yet. And it will heal. In the end, yes, you've caused misery, but you've accomplished nothing.
Have I not? Strange. The city was already in enough turmoil before me and my followers arrived. Oh yes. This city is dead. It simply does not know it yet. Much like a creature walking around with a terminal disease eating away at its organs, you can sometimes not realize the damage that has been done far deeper than what appearances may be. This city may have life, may have people living in it, but as of today, the first will fall, and with it, hope, faith, the belief that those within these city walls are safe. And once that's gone, well,
The temples
I
are
look
working together, and you've managed to make everyone stronger against you, and we are going to save everyone.
I look at her with steady, steady eyes, and I say, the day is not yet done.
This you speak is true. The day is not quite done, and my duty as such is also not done. You call this sending we received from our goddess, what was it again? The blood veil. Yes. You call it something so violent, so finite. We simply know it as the gentle kiss of the pallid princess. And those who receive its blessing shall be rewarded greatly. Choose of the 7 scourges to become one with the goddess, who shall drink. If you do so, and accept the blessing, I shall only leave you crippled. If you abstain, then you are foolishly clinging to these ideals that death is the end of all things. And
That's me, foolishly clinging.
And unfortunately, that would make you foolish to not receive the divine gift Our Lady presents. Though if you prostrate yourself at my feet, I shall make your end more swift than she would. Swifter in any case than what will happen at the end, when this delightful, lovely queen of yours has enjoined me to create this new world.
You're working with our queen?
Nay, I am using her to my own ends. But that is neither.
Why would she be working with you?
Well, you would have to ask her this. For me, however, I simply serve the goddess. I serve the great Urgathoa, and the Pallid Princess demands your answer. Will you sup from her gifts, or will you fall? It matters not to which.
I look at Holly and I'm like, nobles. And then I look at the woman and I say, I neither sup nor fall. Take that as my answer.
Anything you wish to do?
Holly's just flipping her off.
Who, me
Well-
or the woman?
All right.
I find in these situations that words are insufficient, and I will shoot her.
All right. You will not need to make the shot. For as your bullet flies, she places her scythe outwards and then sideways by her neck. As she closes her eyes, the bullet strikes and her neck goes backwards, exposing her jugular, which, as her arm then flies backwards, causes the blade to rip along the throat with enough force and impact to send her head cleaving. Her head flies backwards and lands with a splash in the pool of water behind her. Her body falls, and blood begins to taint the pure and crystal water behind her.
And Quinn, with adrenaline surging through her veins, looks to her fellows and says, "Well, that was anticlimactic. You ever get the sense that you've done the wrong thing?"
I feel like maybe if I had been able to shoot her before she did that, we might be in a better state.
Is she gonna come back as a zombie or something?
I did, I'm gonna say signs point to yes.
I fear her sacrifice is to feed something greater and more terrifying.
As you do so, and you consider it, the statue comes to life. It gazes upon
shit.
you.
I hate being raped.
The hand reaches upwards, and the water begins to bubble and boil. And you watch as almost like fabric, the surface tension of the water does not let up as something pushes out the severed head of the dead cultist. But the water that flows over it begins to take shape and form
Oh, fuck.
like a beautiful body. As what that stands before you now is this, courtesy of our secret menu item donator, Brune Brassax.
Rude, you bastard.
All right. So, she looks at you once more and says,
"As I stated, death is never the end. In Our Lady's kingdom, death is merely a gateway, an entrance, a passage. As a child will one day grow to adulthood, once life has been shed, there is something truly breathtaking that follows. I ask only once more, will you accept?"
Candidly, I haven't done enjoying what life has to offer. I'm not finished yet. There's more I want to enjoy.
make a diplomacy check on that one. I like that. That's interesting.
All right. I don't have my sheet in front of me. I apologize for that. I will roll my d20 and get. Oh. I will get a 5.
Well, sadly, a 5 is not going to do it. She will simply turn to you and say,
Life only has so much to offer, my dear, and it does not end with your death. Come, I will show you such wonders.
And with that, that is where we will end today's session as we kick off with this glorious, glorious battle against the forces that are, of course, the Urgathoan priestess. Now, for those of you who don't know, this particular monster is a pretty nasty baddie, known as a child of Urgathoa. Only very few of the devout to Urgathoa become these upon their death, but they are nasty pieces of work. So yes, we will see how our players fare next week when we return. Actually, no, sorry, my apologies. I will be taking a very, very short personal week, starting this weekend on Friday. So FYI, I'm just going to be taking some personal time to do some stuff. So we won't be back next week. We will be back the following week. So yeah, 2 weeks. That's where we'll be. If you want to stay tuned with all the stuff, guys, then hit that follow button. Come check out all of our cool stuff. Or if you'd like to, come hang out on our Discord. Our Discord is where you can reach me, ask me your questions about TTRPGs, life in general, and all the cool stuff, as well as chat with all the cool people that we have on the server. In addition, if I'm on any other channels, which I very often am, you will also get notifications there. As for what I'm doing coming up and soon, I will be doing next week. I'll be doing a show with Blackwater D&D. So there you go. Doing some cool stuff there. But as for my next project, I will be back in an hour. 1 hour. 1 hour, I will be back right here playing a sci-fi, new sci-fi game called The Forge, along with my friends AJ Winters from Winter's Tales, Robert Hartley GM, and Bon of Detective Tato. So come check that out in an hour. And guys, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to my wonderful players. Thank you to all of the people who donated, and a very special thank you to Bruin Brassax for this encounter. This, to be honest, this is one of my favorite encounters. Like, this actual encounter is one of my favorite encounters. But 90% of the time, everyone goes, "Hey, goddess of undeath, huh? We're gonna take you alive." And then they take the woman alive, and then they don't kill her, and then she doesn't turn into the thing, and then I go, "Ah!" So I'm very happy. I'm super stoked. This is
We didn't do that, of course not.
Yeah, no. Look, yeah, that's true. Patrick did go for the headshot, but I think to be fair, she is.
Well, I might have just been trying to wound her, you know.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, so I'm very, very keen. This is gonna be an epic fight, and you do not want to miss it. So again, guys, check out our Discord, give us a follow on the channel, and I think that's it. For now, however, we are going to go and raid because we love to raid people and share the love that we have for our community, because that's what you do. You know, a rising tide raises all ships. Oh, look, there's a Mindari with a Robert. I'm going to raid them because Robert's going to be in my show in a little bit, so why not? All right, guys. Thank you, Gemini Dragon. Thank you, everyone. Until we meet again, from us to you, stay safe, stay wonderful, and until we meet again, as always, game hard or die trying. Bye-bye!
Bye.
Bye.